everyone, welcome back to Kiss Makeup Your Face, where I teach you how to make up your face. Today we're going to talk about my March favorites, and I have a bunch of favorites, so I'm not going to drag it on any longer, so we'll just get started. But I'd like to point out that this time I am early and not late with my favorites, so clapter for Kelsey. I'm going to go in order of like how I would normally do my makeup, so hopefully it's easier for you to visualize like what it is. Yeah. By the way, apologies for the stuffy nose because this girl's got allergies and yeah, it ain't fun. To start off with foundation, my favorite for this month is the Revlon Colorstay Whipped Cream Makeup Foundation. I'm in the color 330 True Beige, which looks like this. The consistency is really different from a lot of foundations out there. Like it suggests being whipped, I would agree with that. It's kind of light and fluffy and it's not thick and runny like a liquid foundation would be. You can turn it upside down and it's not going to budge, it'll stay right there. Whereas if you took a liquid, if you poured it downward, everything would just shoot right out. I love this foundation because I would say it is a full coverage foundation, and this month I was having a lot of breakouts because of finals, stress, and just a bunch of combined things, so I needed some help in the foundation area, and this did the job. Now, it used to be I applied this foundation with an e.l.f. powder brush, and it applied the foundation really thick and cakey, so when I bought my beauty blender, I tried to apply it that way, and it was still a full coverage foundation, but it was thin enough that it didn't make your face look cakey, which I love. Discussing the beauty blender, this is my second favorite of this month, and obviously it's disgusting because I used it today. This thing is amazing. So what it is it's a makeup sponge, and it's this size when it's dry, but when you dampen it underwater, you kind of wring it underneath the water a couple times and then it'll expand, and the feeling of the sponge is just so soft and light, and when it's damp you bounce it on your face, it just creates such a light and even coverage on your face. Like, you don't have to worry about streaky lines from a brush or it applying too thick and cakey. So I like this a lot. Now, it is a little bit expensive, so if you guys want to invest in a really good makeup tool, this is your best friend. So yeah, that's it. Moving on to concealer. I really enjoyed this CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Concealer, and I would say that this is meant for your under eyes, but I use it actually for like spots on my face, and I feel like it does such a great job. It's actually the perfect color for me, and I think the white is supposed to be like a moisturizer, I think, and the skin tone color would be the actual concealer color. But at first I was like, maybe I should get medium, but then I also thought, in the past I've gotten products that are medium and they've been too light for me, so that's why I went with medium dark, and thankfully it was like the perfect shade. So I just swirl my finger in there and just apply it on my spot, and it's kind of like a cooling effect, and it just covers so nicely. To finish off the face, I like using the Rimmel London Stay Matte Pressed Powder, and I'm in the color 018 Creamy Beige, and this powder is just phenom. I like this powder surprisingly a lot better than my Revlon Nearly Naked powder, and I think it's because I can actually feel this powder doing its job. It's actually mattifying my skin, which is what it's supposed to do, and I believe this thing is only like $2, $3 at most, like you can't go wrong with one of these. And the way I like to apply this is with a really thick, dense brush. I feel like it packs on the product, and you're probably thinking, Kelsey, doesn't that create a cake face, when you put too much powder on? And I agree, yes it does, but you know what, this girl has got so much oily skin that when you pack it on, it doesn't even look like cake face, it just looks like regular because the powder is absorbing all that oil. Yuck, right? I know. I usually like to use the e.l.f. powder brush. So instead of using it with my Revlon Colorstay Whipped Cream makeup, I use it with this. Or I'll use my Tarte Amazonian Clay thing. Well, it came with the foundation, so since it's so thick and dense, I like to use this to pack it on. Or if, you know, I just want kind of like something light and over the face, I'll use my Real Techniques powder brush. This product is, it's amazing, okay? So go and check that one out because you will thank me later. You're welcome. Moving on to bronzer. So no surprise here, it's my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is just my mini one, but I've literally had this thing since last year. I think it was in October that I purchased this, and I still haven't hit pan. It's crazy because you think it's so small, but this stuff is the bomb diggity. It's the perfect contour shade for me. I love it, and I can't really smell it right now because my nostrils are clogged, but if I could smell it, it'd smell like chocolate. Okay, so sorry if it's being washed out by the light. And then you can't talk about contouring and bronzer without blush, right? So this month I've discovered something new and I'm just loving it. I mean, even though I have oily skin, I don't feel it, you know, running off my face. And it's the Revlon Photoready Cream Blushes. Okay, so I have this one which is in Pinched and this one which is in Coral Reef. So this is what they look like compared to each other. And obviously Coral Reef looks a little bit cray-cray, but you know what? It doesn't go on cray-cray. And Pinched I like because it is just this natural, I just pinched my cheeks kind of look, and very natural. Yep, that's Pinched. And Coral Reef. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys Coral Reef, but it's blended out. So you'll see it's not that crazy, even though it's crazy in the pan. See what I mean? It's just like a nice flush of color. The way I like to apply it is with my Real Techniques stippling brush, and I find that this is the perfect brush to do it because it is a densely packed, short bristled brush, and because of that it just blends out the product so beautifully, you know what I mean? Then moving on to eyes. This is the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, and I'm pretty sure this is no surprise to anyone. I'm pretty sure everyone in the world has one of these paint pots, but it's right there. And basically a paint pot is a cream eyeshadow that dries to a powder finish, and I love to use this as a base on my eyes. Now I'll put a primer on first because I've noticed that if I don't put a primer underneath these, this will crease on me, and that's just because I have oily skin. That's nothing I can really fix. I will top it off with my Wet n Wild color Icon eyeshadow in the color Brulee, or this Inglot eyeshadow which is in the color 30, which I'm going to dive into a little bit more later. It's a cream color, just like my Wet n Wild Brulee, but in a cream form. And you're probably wondering, Kelsey, don't you already have a bunch of Brulee eyeshadows? Yes, the answer is yes, but sometimes when you need a cream base to make your eyeshadows like pop or stick better, I use this. Know what I mean? Moving on to the eyeshadows. So, as I mentioned before, I have a few of my Inglot eyeshadows. Sorry, these are my Wet n Wild eyeshadows that I depotted, and you will see a video on it in the future, probably the one after this one or before this one. I don't really know. You'll see what I'm talking about later. But basically, I made a pit stop at Inglot, and I bought 8 eyeshadows. So the ones that I'm going to talk about today are this matte brown right here. That is number 357. And then this coral color, which is number 470. And then this white cream color, which is number 30. So here's the matte brown. Here is the coral. And here is the cream color. So once again, the brown is matte, the coral is shimmery, and the cream is a shimmery, but it could also be considered a frost eyeshadow. Each Inglot eyeshadow is $6, which I believe is a steal for high-end eyeshadows. The way I like using these eyeshadows is I'll use the coral color on the lid, warm up the crease with the brown, and then highlight with the cream color. Or the cream color, of course, I'll use it to set my soft ochre paint pot. But for the most part, that's like a daily eye look that I like to do. To finish off the look, you need some lips, right? So the combination of lips I've been loving this month. This lipstick is called Raisin from the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick line, and it is a cream finish. I like to top off this lipstick with this lip gloss, which is a Revlon Colorburst lip gloss in the color Sunbaked. And as you can see, they are very similar in color. So the Rum Raisin is just a tad bit darker than the Sunbaked lip gloss. However, this color lip gloss on top of this lipstick, it works so well together and it just leaves my lips so glossy. And that's all for my favorites for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below on any future videos you'd like to see from me. Thumbs up this video and share this video as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!